Yeah, this is everybody. This is Jgsf1987. I am as I think everybody. This is Jgsf1987. I'm a writer and blogger as well as sort of a kind of internet activist. Well, anyway, yeah, you can see that all on my Twitter feed and my Facebook postings as well as on my blog. It's jgsf1987.com, and I would absolutely recommend that you subscribe and uh, give me your thoughts. Anyway, look, I understand what's been going down, especially with the shall we say, the outcomes of currently of the primaries and what we're about to look at going into the conventions. Look, I understand it. I understand you're all frustrated. I understand that, especially if you put in like a lot of effort to get, you know, Bernie Sanders nominated. Look, I know that you're going to be thinking, Bernie's just a sellout in this. Now we're never going to get involved in anything of this kind again. Look, take a deep breath and chill for a second. I'm saying this to my fellow birders. Look, we have other options. It's not that we don't have other options that we can look at. We do. I said this on Facebook, and I'm going to say this again right over to you. You should be looking into both Chilstein and Gary Johnson. Well, especially if you've been following what H.A. Goodman has been saying, and I would absolutely recommend that you subscribe to him and follow what he's been up doing on his channel. And if he asks like who else is sending you over to him, tell him JGSF1987 sent you. I'll be very happy to let him know. Or actually, I would be very happy to make sure that that he knows that his message is resonating with everybody, with all of us. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. I'm also going to tell you another thing. If you start, also don't panic at the moment of saying that if you don't come up with some kind of plan B, that, or shall we say, that because I don't, there's no other options other than because I can't vote for Hillary and I can't vote for Trump, I'm going to send this one out. Look, don't sit it out. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no point in sitting out the election. And look, don't lament and don't say that you're never going to do anything again, because that is absolutely playing into the hands of the hill butts and hill trolls. They don't want you in the process. They want you out of the way so this way they can impose everything that they believe, or shall we say impose everything that they're being told to believe, basically, and impose it on you because they're a bunch of mindless sheep. So there you have it with that. Also, if you're going to think about voting for Trump, I can understand if you're going to do that as a way of registering your frustration. Really, I can. But you gotta understand one thing about Trump. Besides the fact that he is an absolute bigot, the guy is a complete and total. He's a total disaster. Look, the fact is, he's he's no more competent to be president than Hillary is. And I'm not saying this as an endorsement for Hillary, not by a long shot. Hillary is not qualified either because she doesn't have the people's trust in her. That's number one. The other reason that Hillary is not qualified will is that she's basically exposed our state's secrets. So there you have it. But Trump, I can tell you right now, is way too incompetent to be president. I can tell you this on day one. He and the Republican Congress are going to get nothing through. That's number one. Number two. Although it will give us a more progressive Congress in 2018, but that's kind of a minor side note, actually. Now, one of the things you got to understand though is that if it's if you're only thinking of doing things within the lesser of two evils, look, you want my personal advice? Don't buy into it. It's a bunch of crap. I can tell you that right now. And if you are going to think about who's going to be the lesser of two evils, trust me, it's going to be Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you that basically with a straight face, and for a big reason. One, again, it's going to be a lot simpler to rein him in rather than reining Hillary in. And, or because if we have a Republican Congress to try to rein or to try and hold Hillary accountable, don't bet on it. Because anything that is less than basically singing praise to her is a vast right wing conspiracy. If you if you shall we say if you were going through into high school and college in the 1990s, you would really kind of know what I'm talking about, and those who were parents of people who were born in like the mid to late 80s, actually, or early 90s, you would understand it too. I mean, you would absolutely understand what I'm talking about. How that phrase first came up with Bill Clinton and then elsewhere. But listen, don't buy into the crap. Don't buy into that argument. I'm gonna tell you right now, you have other options, especially if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter. You can look at Gary Johnson, and you can also look at Jill Stein. Those are the presidential candidates for both the Libertarian and Green parties, and actually, they're not that bad to actually look into. Now, Gary Johnson, I understand looking into him because of his thing, because he is pretty much touting Bernie Sanders' line, especially when it comes to civil libertarianism. But most of Bernie's platform, well, outside of some of his views on guns, which there are a few that I don't exactly agree with him about, but that's for another video. Or shall I say that, or I can just say it right now, actually. Look, there's some things that I really wish that he would reconsider, which is what is the Firearms Immunity Act? Anyway, uh, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. I mean, yeah, I'm disappointed by his view, but it's like, eh. But he does explain it very well, so I got to give him credit for that. Anyway, yeah, sorry, that was a small tangent. I'll put it to you in another way. The thing that you gotta at least understand about Donald Trump, I mean, and Hillary, is that look, Donald Trump is actually less dangerous than you think. He's nowhere near as dangerous as Hillary is. I'm going to tell you that right now. And no, it's not just because of the fact that he's less militaristic. I mean, that is one deep quality about him, but the other fact is that he, unlike Hillary, who's been spilling our state secrets, Trump doesn't know any of them. So that's number one. Number two, his platform is so totally off the wall as it is. There's, I don't think even a tenth of it is going to even get past, or if that much, or it could get up to about that point. But just understand one thing: Trump's a moron. Let me put it to you that way. But the fact is that it is a problem with him because he is no. He really is not the guy that we need to be putting in the presidency because of a number of things. Number one, Trump is just way too incompetent to be president. That's the main problem. Now, Hillary, the problem with her is that it's basically an issue of trust because no one trusts her. And so, if she did such a crap job of really making, well, for basically trying to get around, federal record keeping laws just because apparently to her they don't apply. At least that's how it is for the Clintons. Is that there's one standard for them and there's a standard for everyone else. Yeah, but that's just the Clintons. Now, would I like to see Hillary Clinton at least indicted and or held accountable for what she had done priorly as our foreign secretary or our secretary of state for that matter? Of course, as would about 3 in 10 Democrats and 9 in 10 Republicans, and about oh, I would say about 7 in. No, I wouldn't go up that high. Um, no, but about 56% of all voters would actually believe that Hillary needs to get indicted because of that. Look, so anyway, yeah, there's that. But as I said, you have other options. Just look at them, weigh them out, and you are if you think that one of the other third parties can do it, fine. That's fine. Or if you feel like you have no other choice and you're just going to vote for Hillary by default, that's your decision. I'm not going to recommend it, it's but it's your vote, your voice, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. Or if you want to vote for Trump as a way of protesting, I mean, you can do that, except for the fact that you also got to understand that Trump is totally incompetent to be president, despite the fact that he's also a massive bigot and a demagogue who should never be anywhere near the levers of power. But again, that is that is a solid reason as to why not to vote for him. But the main reason you shouldn't. But the main reason in my eyes that he shouldn't be president is again he's too incompetent. I mean, look, if he's basically run four different businesses into the ground, and he's used basically the tax system to avoid basically to evade paying taxes every time he went into bankruptcy. I mean, look, the guy's running a con job. I mean, I'm going to say that right now. Here's the other part of it. Donald Trump, the moment he gets into office, what's the first thing he's going to try to do? Throw out all the Muslims, or round up all the illegals and throw them out, or push for the construction, for the funding to construct a for to construct a wall across the border. We have our border with Mexico. Of course not. I mean, that is going to be one of his priorities that he'd like to do, but that's not going to be the first thing he actually pushes to do. He's going to push for a quote unquote tax reform, basically, which means is, you want to know which the translation of that is essentially give myself and my ultra wealthy buddies a huge tax break, and then charge everyone else for the difference. Yeah, that's Trump for you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, maybe he might be able to do something about that, or maybe he may just come out and say that, oh, well, just because I'm wealthy, meaning that, well, let me put it to you in another way. The fact that if Hillary, no, not Hillary, actually, the fact is that him saying that, I know it's been coming, for him, it's been coming across as he's being 100% honest. While Hillary is basically all over the map. Well, look, that's going to be one thing he is going to try to sell with other people, but you got to understand one thing. He's selling you a con job, and he's being pretty transparent about the fact that he is going to screw you over. I mean, I can tell you that practically with a straight face, and that's not the route that we ought to be going. Now, but does that mean that we should be entirely ignoring what he's saying? In some parts, yeah. In other parts, actually, he's actually spot on, surprisingly. Well, let me tell you something. One of the things that he's actually said that actually does make some sense, well, other than with our foreign policy and such, has actually been a lot of these, trade deals and such. I mean, he's right, because basically what it's been doing is it's been killing the middle class, and that's been basically Bernie's argument the entire time. Or to say that basically the American dream is dead. No, on the nose of it, yeah, he's absolutely right. I mean, if you go looking through a lot of the things that he's been saying, though, I mean, outside of the demagoguery, or trying to sell like a con job for how he thinks it'll make things better, but really it'll make things a whole lot more convoluted. That aside, but on other things, he's totally spot on. I mean, think about it. Now, what's one argument that he can make literally with a straight face, and it is going to be 100% true? Oh, gee, if he's running against Hillary, guess what? Anything that she throws at him is really not going to stick. That This much I can tell you right now. The other part of it is the fact that anything that he throws in Hillary's direction, that not only will stick, but he can also explain how the heck that's actually the case. Well, look, think about it. Well, even though I know Trump and Hillary know each other, the the Trumps and the Clintons are actually very good friends. I mean, well, think about it. Bill Clinton and Donald Trump are golfing buddies. They go golfing together practically all the time. That is when they're not on the campaign trail, but before that, yeah. And here's the other thing is that Donald Trump has the other thing that he's also been very correct about is the fact that, look, I know that, and he's right, and he actually has the proof of saying that not only is this entire process rigged, but he actually is telling the truth about it not only being rigged, since he also explained how he was able to also use that same system too. And the politicians from both parties always go over to him to, asking for donations and such. Of course. And he used to donate to people of both parties. And what did he get in return? Political favors. I mean, what else? And that you got to understand is that he knows the system by which Hillary and a lot of these other, quote unquote politicians, I would say really con jobs. But again, I'm not going to really expand into that at the moment. And I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight either. But here's the thing is that Donald Trump is basically about to expose all the lies that Hillary Clinton, or shall we say, a lot of the political establishment is going to be trying to show as a way of trying to scare us into voting for somebody who is basically a not just a neocon, but as a neoliberal neocon and someone who is a, still under a FBI investigation, is about to have their email case reopened by the Inspector General of the State Department. There's now a request by House Republicans to the FBI and the Justice Department to charge her with perjury from the testimony she gave to the Select Committee on Benghazi back in December of 2015 because of some of the facts that FBI Director James Comey had said in his testimony to the I think it was to the House Judiciary Committee or whatever, or to the Select Committee on Benghazi or so. I don't know. I don't remember which one it was, but the fact was that he went before, the House of Representatives, or to their testimonial room actually, where he basically answered with, based on the facts that he had, that Hillary, that all the things that Hillary had said about like it, being it for convenience, or that she didn't know about the fact that it was there, or that for the fact that the State Department gave her had permission to do that, or that she never sent or received any kind of classified email despite it having a private server and putting it on there and such. The fact is that all proved to be false. So because of the testimony that James Comey gave. But here's the thing. The bottom line is that between Hillary's dishonest... Okay, let me put it to you this way. Between Trump's incompetence and Hillary's lies, I'm going to say this in 2 words. We're screwed. Oh, that's just as a whole. But the fact is, we have other means of showing the fact that, but we don't have to get her. As I said before, and as I said in the title, we have other options that we can look into. You don't need to buy the crap argument that you have to go with the lesser of two evils, and the lesser of two evils happens to be Hillary. That Hillary will always be the lesser of two evils because Trump is this boogeyman who should it is the Antichrist and is going to basically and is going to lead us into a nuclear war and that he will kill off the entire planet. No, that's not going to happen. Or basically that the sky will fall if he's elected. Don't buy it. Life will continue on as it is. Now, as for what Trump decides to do or what else some of the wings within the KKK or basically the racist wing of or the bigoted wing of the Republican Party, what it tries to do and such. But anyway, yeah, just telling you that right now. So anyway, yeah, and by the way, I could list a number of reasons why voting for Hillary would be a mistake. If you think about the fact that she called black kids super predators back in 1996, she had used racism as been well as well based off of what I heard from H.A. Goodman, and I need to look and see what his sources are, but he's saying this, well, from what I heard from him at least, is that she had used racism against President Obama back when we were back in '08, especially the 3 a.m. ad, which someone had, I think there was some kind of massive Democratic either donor or something. I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name, but the point that I'm making is that he said that the ad was not only racist, or it had a kind of a racist overtone to it. So, um, I just want to make sure that you all have a little bit of perspective on this. So, look, you're not going to. It's not that you don't have other options. You do have other options. You could look at whatever third parties you think you would like to be voting for. You want to write Bernie's name in? That's an option. Or if you're in a state where third parties are the only two parties that are allowed to be registered there are, the two major political parties. Look, I'm going to tell you this much. If you see an area that says write in, just write in whoever you want to use as a way to protest what's been going on. Anyhow, so I'll leave it at that. This is Jgsf1987 out.